Greetings, programs! Welcome back to Crusader Kings 2, and as is the custom, we'll have a quick look around the map before we actually unpause. There's not really that much different to show you. In the last session, I mean, it was only about 2.5 years, so there wasn't that much time for lots of stuff to happen. But Sicily has appeared. I'm pretty sure that's new. Otherwise, as we can see from the game map, it's not really that different. Byzantium continues to have troubles. Croatia's still doing okay. Hungary is really not doing okay. Hungary has in fact shrunk quite dramatically. Actually find that, there we go, that's the capital province at the moment, which is entirely cut off from the rest of the country. That's never what you want. And the HRE is just doing HRE things, I think. Denmark also seems to be doing reasonably well at the expense of Sweden. So that's also a thing. But turning our focus back to the British Isles, once again, civil wars in England. The English people must be mighty fed up of being in civil wars at this point. There's actually, again, two going on. Now, I probably mentioned what they were last time, but I'm just going to re-go over it because one of them is against the tyranny of King Sigismund. So he's obviously not popular with his vassals. In fact, we can see exactly... Well, obviously, the remaining vassals are the ones that stuck with him, so they're going to be the ones that like him more. But even so, he's not. He's only got two people that, you know, they're both important though. They're both the dukes that stuck with him that have 100 opinion, and the rest of the dukes all split off basically. So that's a war of tyrannies. That's basically they don't like him and they want to curb his power. But the other one that's going on is a claim war, and if we mouse over that that one there, well, actually they're also still involved with this war against Etienne's host, but that's not really relevant. Defending against Earl Seovold of Kent in the Kentian War for Duke Sigreid's claim on England, and Duke Sigreid is of House Caption Guy, he's the Duke of Cornwall. So there's a possibility that the English people might rise up and put someone from House Caption Guy back on the throne. I don't know why. It doesn't speak much to their judgment, but anyway. So we'll unpause. The only active war I've got going at the moment is, again, the Earl Etienne's host. I'm just recovering my retinues, and I'll actually just check if I can get any more retinues right now, because that might be useful. But no, I'm pretty much at my cap. My actual military state is not bad, not bad. A little over 10,000 when everyone's fully reinforced, and they're still recovering from the last war. Excuse me, I'm a bit snuffly today. So it really is dependent on getting a claim, and I might actually. It'd be nice to get both of those at once, but I don't know. I mean, the English, the crown, the forces of the English crown are going to be relatively weak after the last round of civil wars. So I might not have time. So I might not even have time to make one claim. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah. 34 gold for 10 piety? Yeah, why not? That's pretty affordable. So we might actually fast forward here because there's really not much going on. I'm entirely dependent on the RNG of making this claim happen, basically. So until that actually occurs, the only way I can really, I think I've only got claims on nothing. I don't even have, I've got a de jure claim I think on Orkney, or is that, no, aha, that's now de jure part of Norway. So I think that's been held by Norway for long enough that I've lost my de jure claim on Orkney. I'd have to actually fabricate a claim on Orkney, so I've maybe left that a bit too long, but that was a fairly low priority. Also, Prince Jason saved me from a huge bear. That's quite useful. So yeah, we'll just fast forward here. If anything interesting happens in the Civil War, we'll come back in, but at the moment it doesn't look like it's actually going to be a long one. It just depends. Well, we'll see. Caption Guy might end up back on the throne, so we can hope not, but it seems likely. Well, yeah, that happened. So that's Caption Guy, House Caption Guy, back in control of England. Oh well, it's a bit unfortunate, but Yeah, he's very good at martial things, but not much good at anything else, King Sigrid. So I don't know. We might have further unrest. We can actually, I mean, clicked that away. We'll just check his, what his vassals think of him. Actually, let's do by importance of rank. Most of his dukes like him, but the Duke of Kent doesn't especially. Some of them are rather lukewarm about him. He doesn't have any really strong supporters. The Duke of York and Wessex. Wessex is, that's of his dynasty as well. There might be potentials for causing further splits, but otherwise, yeah. Even though that's currently 15% per year chance to fabricate a claim, it's just not happening. The RNG is not with me, sadly. Also, everyone's switching their vote for the Dynasty, and I don't know why. Mace Windu is still... oh! Jason McJedi has died of the slow fever. That's most unfortunate. Although, it's probably worth getting... let's actually do it within the court. Getting his widow married to somebody else. What's the thing I am looking for? Arranged marriage. Let's see if there's anybody with a decent... not especially. DeWick Town. That's a name, certainly. He's actually got a pretty decent martial skill. We might want to keep his dynasty going. So she gets minus 400. Although I could set it as a matrilineal marriage. And they'll be of her dynasty. I guess we'll do that. So yeah, she'll get minus 400 prestige, but that doesn't really concern me. I've got plenty of prestige. We've got some money to burn as well. So just before I skip ahead again, because there's really not much doing right now, I could, I could try and fabricate a claim on Westmoreland, but it's probably no point. Maybe I should just switch my focus again back to Ireland. Or maybe I should stick with England, because they should be reasonably weak at the moment. In fact, we could even check in the ledger. I'm totally sidetracking myself here, but I just had that thought. And I now want to check up what size their army is. So, army size. Let's sort by army size. There's Scotland. And I am not seeing England there. There we go. England can field less than half. Yeah, at the moment, just less than half the troops. But the longer that claim takes to fabricate, the more their troop numbers are going to recover. I'm not feeling lucky here. I mean, I'm really not. It takes so long to make these claims sometimes. So we'll just transfer that guy over to Ireland. Anyway, the thing I was going to do was to upgrade something somewhere. And barracks, that gets me an extra 65 base troops. Or I could build a Shiltron training ground, which gets me only 30 extra base troops, but it also gives a buff to the pikemen that I raise from this particular county. Although I don't really have a massive number of pikemen to begin with. I think we'll go with a barracks and then maybe a Shiltron training ground later on. That's actually a unique Scottish thing. You don't get those for other countries, I don't think. I mean, Shiltrons are just formations of pikemen, but they're particularly associated with a certain period of Scottish history. So, anyway, right, we'll skip forward again. There's not really much doing. Yeah, it might be a bit of a short, relatively slow-paced episode, this, but we'll see. You never know. Not every episode can be action-packed, but it would be nice if it was. So, success. After a relatively short amount of time, and we had no success in the north of England, but we have now a claim on, I don't even know how you pronounce that, Bryfny? I don't know. But part of the Duchy of Connacht anyway, and we have more than enough cash and more than enough prestige to take the hit. Now, they're allied with the Count of the Earl of Tyrone rather. So they're not without allies, but I'm pretty sure we can take them. So I'm actually going to maybe not even raise all of my hosts. I'm going to raise some of my hosts. That should give me about 4,000 men. March them down to Ulster, and then if I put them in Oriel, I can maybe raise the troops from Oriel as well. But that is also going to cut down on the amount of money I'm losing per month, because obviously there's a certain amount of expense associated with raising your armies, but it's not nearly as bad as raising navies. And it's funny, I was actually playing EU4 the other day, and it occurred to me that it's the complete reverse in EU4. In EU4, your navies are generally much cheaper than your armies, although obviously it depends on the exact composition. If you go for all big ship navies, then that's going to cost more. But even so, things like artillery and cavalry units in EU4 especially are quite expensive to raise and maintain. Also, I can take my Chancellor back at this point. And I could immediately send him there, but we'll make sure this war's done with for now, because I don't want to take another massive financial hit saying, yes, I want this claim. Also, the fact that Yoda is getting on a bit in years. He's 61. Oh, hello. Right. A daughter was born to Jason Yodason. That's because some of my court have ended up with the Norwegian cultural... They've ended up as being culturally Norwegian. So if they are of the right sort of cultural group, it will generate names like that automatically. So anyway, have we had any layers so far? Because I'm not sure that we have. I'm going to go with we're going to go with layer. I don't think that we have had any layers yet. So we'll just raise those troops there, and this should be more than enough to oh no, I haven't actually declared war yet. Having raised all my yeah, okay, I can video games. No, that's not what it's click. So let's no, you can't have whatever it is you're asking for. He probably wants Oriel. At which point he would be able to, if he had enough cash, just outright create the Duchy of Ulster, which is not what I want. So claim, there we go. You actually have to declare war. You can't declare war while you don't have your troops raised, and I am a total noob and totally forgot that. So there we go. We'll just march them in right away. And they are very low morale, so that's not really a problem for me. I'll march my troops down there, and in fact we might just bring those in as reinforcements. And do I want Ross and Moray as well? I think that should be enough with 1,000 from the Western Isles. We'll group those guys up there first. Although, oh, this is a risk, but they're very, very low morale, so in theory, my high morale troops, even though they are outnumbered, well, this is why morale is important. Well, actually, this might go horribly wrong, but there's no kind of terrain bonuses going in. Although it is one flank versus 3 flanks, so they're actually... Yeah, okay. Morale's not the be-all, end-all. Although, actually, we're winning. Huh, okay, never mind. Oh, also, there has been yet another civil war in England. Again, a tyranny war, so it's lowering crown authority as the war goal. In fact, oh, there's another one. And Princess Cynegith of England in Duchess Cynegith of... Ah, okay, so this is the former queen, who is now... Oh, okay. There's, again, 2 civil wars. I mean... There's less territory involved this time round, so the current King Sigrid might not have any problems defending. But the former queen has decided she wants to have a go, and another duke has decided that because England implemented medium crown authority, they've decided they're not having that. They're going to have a go at have a go on the battlefield, see if they can't do something about that. So yeah, England at war once again. Which is nice for me. Anything that keeps England like weak is very, very useful. So I'm not at all opposed to that. In fact, I think what I'll do, having said I won't send my Chancellor somewhere, we'll just check. Can we get a better Chancellor at the moment? No, not really. Oh, also, I was going to show you, I don't know if they're still there though. How did I find them? In the court of the King of France, I was saying Yoda was quite old. Let's see if I can find her. She's actually of House Caption Guy. Gunhilda, Princess of England. She's 86. That's a bit of an outlier. It can happen. You can get very old characters in this game, but to get to 86 years old in the 12th century, that was fairly unusual. Not many people managed. Oh, also, that's interesting. I haven't seen that event pop up before. We'll actually have a quick look over at the Levant, at Arabia. It's all still fairly solidly controlled by the Fatimids. Well, the Seljuks just seem to be chilling over here on the other side of the... is that? I want to say the Black Sea. I'm pretty sure that's the Black Sea. No, the Caspian Sea. I'm actually mousing over and it says the Caspian Sea. And that's the Aral Sea. That's the Black Sea. I'm getting totally confused. So, yeah. There's not much else happening, really. Just a little impromptu look around. Castile and Portugal carving up Iberia between them. But anyway, back to the sieging. I might actually speed this up slightly because we all know how interesting sieging is. As the farmers prepare for sowing their spring crops, even your court chaplain suggests you bring out the holy relic in possession and bless the fields. Okay then. Might as well. There's no point in not doing that. We can also, I can have a quick check of my tech points, see if I can put tech points into anything. And it doesn't look like I can. So that's a little bit of a pity. I've also spent some of my money, as you can see, I've got... we know what I did in Castle Jedi, but in Tain I've also initiated construction of training grounds. So that's more troops. More troops is good. Investing the money I've got is something I need to keep on top of that. You know, having a nice reserve of cash is good, but if you have that reserve of cash, it's almost you don't want to have too much of a reserve, because although it's useful for certain events or like making claims, going to war, it's also very, very useful to invest that money and get higher troop numbers, as a result of it. So it's keeping that balance. So I don't really want more than, say, 300-400 gold just sitting around at any one time. So I could actually have a look around just now, see if there's anything particularly cheap. I could build castle walls in... oh, there we go. That's the first siege there done. I think that's the only thing that's especially cheap is in... I don't even know how you say that. Burr? I'm guessing Burr. So 70 gold, castle walls, and that's a fairly cheap and very useful upgrade. That means that it'll be that little bit harder to siege. There we go, barracks built in Castle Jedi. So that's a few more troops. It's quite useful. It's always, I mean, when I was talking before about base troops, like the numbers that it gives you, like plus 30 pikemen for instance, that's all modified by not only your ruler skill but also your martial skill as well, I think, or your marshal's martial skill. Anyway, we've just about won this war, so I can actually say Gib Clay. There you go, there's a nice little Poland ball reference for you. And we have won. So that's now under my direct control, but I don't necessarily want it under my direct control. So what I'm going to do is watch those armies there, and I am going to fabricate claim in Connacht, and I am going to decide who gets given Breifne. Now, I'm probably going to give them both to the same, like I'll probably have a single duke holding both of those lands. That shouldn't necessarily be a problem. So I have got a couple of unlanded sons. I could actually give Duncan McThird, as I called him, I could give him land. We don't really have anybody else of age. Although, actually, having said that, I do have 2 unlanded sons at the moment. Oh, well, I did have 2. Of course, Jason died, rather unfortunately. But I could give Prince Anakin... it's quite funny, his diplomatic skills, it's sort of worked out in a way. He's quick, which is it's +3 to everything. But his diplomatic skills are terrible, but he's fairly bright, he's fairly good at everything else, but just that collection of traits. Yeah, we'll give him the... then I don't have that penalty anymore, so... Grant landed title. Count of... where are we? Count of Bryfney, and he is now a count, and he'll be much happier as a result of that. And he's going to have kids of his own and spread the dynasty around, and that's all going to be good. So we'll fast forward again. We probably will wrap the video up relatively soon, although we might even get another war out of Ireland, who knows, but slowly spreading our influence. The more we get, the better. And I would actually like to give him land at some point. But 15 prestige, very nice. We'll see. We might actually build a barony and give it to him. I could even build a barony in an existing, like in Ulster, for instance, and make him the vassal of somebody else. Although he's got a fairly useful set of traits, so we might want him as a direct vassal in a barony somewhere. I could possibly build a barony in Moray. And even though it doesn't directly benefit me in terms of raising troops, my own troops, barons still contribute troops towards your armies, so it's useful. We might actually save up enough cash, and let's see, we're going to need 700 for that. So yeah, we might well do that. It's going to be a little bit of a long plan because you need a couple of years to build a new castle, but yeah, we might well give that a go. Also, speaking of baronies, we'll actually check in on the barony of Dagobah, and he's actually managed to have a son, so that's good. That line is going to continue. Also, Ki Adimundi Jason's son, that's not at all awkward, is in need of tuition, so we will educate child, and we'll try and get him with someone Scottish so that he himself is more likely to become Scottish. We'll go with Edith. And I should say, or is that only in the later things where it says there's a chance that he might become Scottish? Oh, maybe it's just like I think the mechanism's still there. I think it just doesn't have the message that it might happen, unless he was Scottish and I just wasn't paying attention. That's entirely possible. Anyway, we'll skip ahead again here. That was a nice little war. It was nice and brief in Bryfney. And hopefully we can maybe nibble a bit more territory. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we've come in back very quickly after the last cut. It really is musical thrones down in England. The Capets are back on the throne. Is he the son of... yeah, Sigismund. He's the son of Sigismund. I don't quite know. Obviously, another civil war started while I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on, and there's still wars going on. Duchess Senegath is still trying her luck. I don't know. So you win some, you lose some, Caption Guy, and you got back the throne, but then you lost it again. Anyway, the most serene republic of... Oh, hello. Oh, that's right. Pisa very briefly established the Republic of Israel, and they still have the title of Jerusalem, or the Serene Republic of Jerusalem. So there's a crusade going. That's a bit interesting. So yeah, he's still the Serene Doge of Jerusalem, even though he doesn't actually have any land there and hasn't for a little while now. I'd forgotten that had happened. Actually, interesting fact. The King of Italy, up until the abolition of the Italian monarchy in, I think it was 1946, It was just after the Second World War anyway, but right up to the abolition, they basically styled themselves the Kings of Jerusalem. Like, that was one of the titles that they claimed. Right, even right up till, the mid-20th century nearly. So, yeah, there's an interesting little bit of history, and that goes right back through. I don't even know. Sicily, maybe Aragon, Sardinia, Piedmont. I don't know. I'd have to. Like, the history of Italy is a little bit complicated. So, yeah. Anyway, we may or may not join the crusade, but frankly, it's a long way to go for Scotland, and I think I'd rather concentrate my energies elsewhere. Also, Byzantium seems to be relatively stable once more, as does the HRE, although Sicily seems to have inherited what was, I think it was Lombardy. So that's interesting. Sicily is emerging as a minor power, but, a power. Anyway, also, what's going on down here? War between Navarra and Portugal, it looks like. Don't think Navarra's going to win that one somehow. They might be forced back into Brittany, but Navarra will still exist. Although, at that point, France may well just still attack them. Anyway, yeah, we'll skip forward once again. And, oh, my word, even more civil wars. Wow, England just can't win. This is Duke Sigurd of York, who, again, Caption Guy. This is not a good time to be a peasant in England. It really is not. You know what? Ireland can wait. Back to Cumberland, not Cumberland. Northumberland. Back to Northumberland. We'll give it a go. We'll try and take advantage of the weakened state of England, and we'll see how it goes. I know this has all been a bit chop and change, but that's the risk of I mean, I could show you all the boring bits, but frankly, it would be me struggling for things to say. So it really is better that I cut ahead, because otherwise I'd be waffling a lot more, and I already waffle a fair bit. So yeah, it's for the best. It's for the best. Well, this is unexpected. The Grand Mayor of Dumfries has demanded that I lower Crown authority. Now, at the moment, we have low Crown authority. He wants minimal Crown authority, and I really don't want to do that. He has one backer. I mean, it literally just popped up, the message about dangerous factions, and that usually means you've got a bit of time to work with. He's got one Duke backing him, the Duke of Albany, and I don't know, they've got about 5,000 men between them. And they're demanding that I go to the lowest level of Crown authority, which I really, that would kind of shaft me. Now, the direct troops I can raise plus, well, I think we're going to brazen it out. I think we're going to say I will not be blackmailed. But yeah, normally you get a bit of time, and it was just like immediately, well, it was just kind of like, no, oh, hello, you get a lot of troops. So, unfortunately, my guys have been rather caught out of position. Now, I'm going to have to try and... Oh dear, this might be a bit tricky. Now, those troops there might end up being sacrificial, but that's absolutely fine. I don't mind if they do end up being sacrificial. And we'll try and group those troops all up in Dumfries. And we've just raised literally everything, because this is a fight for my life at this point. We might end up... I mean, if we lose this, the Crown Authority goes down anyway, so it seems worth fighting. But we shall see. We shall see. So, oh, okay, there we go. That's slightly annoying. The fact that they've cut off my Irish holdings entirely, it's not the best, but I don't know. Now, their army just seems to be content to sit there for the time being, and I've got... Oh, did I... Oh, I meant to send those troops in there to reinforce the... I don't know. We might win that fight, we might not. Right, what fight was that? In Ireland. Right, that's 1100. Those guys are a bit cut off. Although actually, if we raise... Can we raise his troops directly? Well, they're sieging the trade post at the moment. Not his troops, his ships. We want to raise the ships of... who is this? The Earl of the Isle of Man. Well, of course it's the Isle of Man. Duh. Right, let's see if I can actually find him on this list. It can be a bit fiddly sometimes if you want to specifically raise one person's ships. Sort by rank. County of the Isle of Man. And we'll actually get his guys off there in the boat. 500 troops is actually a useful amount of troops, so it'd be better not to lose them. Also, if I march those guys up into, yes, into there, that's fine. I don't think this is going too badly, to be honest. The fact that their army might just be waiting to fully get full morale, as it were. But despite the fact that my army is just basically split in three, we're winning that fight, which means I can probably link these two armies up here, and then we can tackle the dangerous army, which is this one. We might actually, if I raise enough troops, I can raise enough ships, rather. That's 1,200. Now we've got about 500. That actually might be enough galleys. I don't think we actually have to raise any more galleys right now. I was thinking we might... I was gonna... peaceful couple of years, and I'd go, right, okay, we'll wrap up the video here and nothing much is happening, and then suddenly, oh, civil war. So apparently civil wars are the in thing right now. It's not just happening in England. Everyone's a bit revolting. We've always had a bit of an uneasy relationship with Dumfries, just because of the fact that they are a vassal republic, and it's very useful in terms of cash, but in terms of actually getting them to like me, it's a bit trickier. So we'll actually have to take them up to Moray, and we'll smash that army there. We'll march them straight down to Lothian. They look like they're going across to Ulster. Don't quite know why, but that's useful for me. It means I can just start sieging, in fact. In fact, he's the leader. We might as well just get the troops down to Galloway. We don't really need to siege all of this. If I can reliably siege Galloway, then we'll send these troops back down, this ship back down here. We've already got 33% war score from that one battle. So that's kind of lucky for me that their big army, the one that might have caused me trouble, has taken a very long time to get going. Now, it might have been precipitated by the fact that I became stressed. So my demence size went down, and that means my demence limit went down. So that means that they suddenly are like, well, you're over your demence limit, and clearly that's not okay, and that gives you a slightly negative modifier at that point. So that might have been the trigger, as it were. Now he's trying to link his armies up together, and you're marching into Clydesdale. So actually, it looks like the fight's going to be in Clydesdale. And he's decided no, he doesn't like those odds. So what we'll do is we'll march them down there, and we'll just keep sieging there, basically. Right, so we can... Why did that? I don't know. Well, we can disband those ships. We don't need those ships any longer. That should put me back into a positive balance. So one of the... I mean, war is a bit tricky in this because you're raising all your levies. It's very, very important that you don't let your armies get split up into little bits and picked off one by one. And conversely, as a strategy for taking out an enemy... Oh, no, okay, his troops were able to get there, but that's fine. I have 3,000 troops to march in as reinforcement, and he does not. And also, I get a nice... I don't get a defensive bonus, but he gets an offensive penalty. So I fancy my odds in this fight, and the fact that we've got... Oh, these troops also marching in. I meant to... No, timed that wrong. We're going to win it anyway. I don't know why I can't cancel that movement order, though. I meant to shift-click to have him march right back into Galloway after having been in that fight, but I don't think it matters. I just got unlucky with the timing there. Anyway, yeah, we are winning that fairly handily. I might actually go and beat up this army as well. Or I could just chase down that current army. Yes. This peasant revolt is good. Although I've not really ever had a problem with peasant revolts so far. They don't tend to trouble you as much in this game. You have to worry a lot more about vassals revolting than you do the peasantry revolting, as a rule of thumb. Although if you have a lot of provinces that are of a different culture or of a different religion, even if they are held by vassals of the same culture and religion, you might then still have, you know, revolt problems, but it's going to be the vassal's issue to deal with rather than your own issue directly. So yeah, we're just beating up these guys. 74%. Yeah, we've won this fairly easily, but the AI, you know, for whatever reason, oh hello, successful crusade for Jerusalem. The AI decided that no, that army, that dangerous army, at the time when I was most vulnerable, they were just going to sit around and do nothing. So yeah, no, there we go. The most serene Republic of Pisa has reclaimed its territories in the Levant. Yeah, I don't actually know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's of not any real relevance to me. It's amusing, but in terms of the geopolitical, you know, that's a long way away from where I am. I'll actually just have a quick look at Republic trade zones while we're... Oh yeah, Pisa's got to be raking in the money. They really have to be, like, absolutely... They're probably one of the wealthiest states around Pisa. I mean, Gotland has got a fairly decent sized trade zone as well, but that's just... I mean, if you compare the sort of economic map, the Mediterranean provinces are by far the richer. There's some decent ones along the Baltic, but it's nothing compared to what you get further south. So let's just look at this fight. And he's a bit stuffed. They now can't challenge me at all militarily. Now this would be really terrible timing for someone like England to declare war on me, but they've got their own problems right now, so I don't have to worry about that, at least. That is just not even a concern. I also, Prince Colin, in one of the interregnums, Prince Colin came of age, and he's actually now Tanist, apparently. I married him off to a princess of Denmark, so I now have an alliance with Denmark as well. Of the available options, that seemed like the best. So I should have a quick... Yeah, no, I mean, he's actually fairly capable. We might nominate him, actually. I might shift my vote to him and, you know, hopefully ensure that he gets it for sure. So we're just going back and forth, beating up these armies, and that's getting me a bunch of war score. I'm about to get a bunch of war score from successfully sieging Dumfries as well. You can see the morale of the defenders has nearly collapsed entirely. So it's just a matter of that, and there we go. That's been sufficient. I can say offer peace. Yes. He's now in prison. And he doesn't like me especially. But what I can do is I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to release him. That gives me an opinion bump for everybody. It gives me a big opinion bump for him because I released him from prison. And hey presto. So that was not a welcome thing, but as it turned out, it wasn't desperately concerning. But there we go. I think we will wrap up the video here. It must add up to, all the little bits and pieces I've recorded must add up to a decent length at this point. So we've had a successful bit of conquest. We've had a successful defense of a civil war. So as it turned out, this was actually rather an eventful video after all. So if you enjoyed it, you can leave any comments below. You can hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay tuned for more.